Hey guys, it's Mr. Rubo here. So today, since it's the SAT day, you guys should be working on pages 216 and 217. 215 is optional if you'd like to do some more practice. The answer key for that is up already with the filled out notes. The keys for this is also filled up as well, but obviously with this video you can pause it at any point. So this is just really review, so there's nothing new here. But I'll go through each question just to make sure you guys kind of understand how it's done again. So something that I'm going to be using a lot, so I just wrote it right at the top, was the whole idea that I'm going to say x equals the angle, 180 minus x is the supplement of that angle, and then 90 minus x is the complement of that angle. Like I said, I'm going to be using that a lot, especially for these first few questions. So it says here, the sum of the measures of a complement and a supplement of an angle is 184. So the sum and the complement, the sum of the complement and the supplement means I take the supplement and the complement and I add them together and I set them equal to 184. And now I need to find the measure of the angle. So I start solving. Combine like terms, move stuff, manipulate it around, and finally solve for x, and I would get x equals 43. It just wanted the angle, which in this case, the angle is just x. Okay. For number 2, it now tells us if 3x minus 15 is the measure of an acute angle, what restrictions are placed on x? So if it's acute, that means it is between 0 and 90 degrees. So we just put the two restrictions on each side. So in other words, 3x minus 15, which is our angle, has to be between 0 and 90. I would add 15 to both sides, and then, or not both sides, all three sides, if you will, and then divide everything by 3. So my restriction is x has to be between 5 and 35. You'll also notice that I just use less than symbols, not less than or equal to, because as soon as you are equal to 90, you became a right angle and are no longer acute. So, number 3, two adjacent supplementary angles have measures of A and B respectively. Find the measure of the angle whose sides are rays that bisect the given angles. So this one's a little easier if you draw it out. So we have in blue, two adjacent supplementary angles, okay? We want to find the measures of the angles whose sides are rays that bisect the given angles. So we're bisecting B, we're bisecting A. So if this is what A plus B is, so A plus B is equal to 180 because it's supplementary and they're forms a straight line. We're then taking half of A and then half of B, which means we end up also taking half of 180, which is 90. So this one's more of a just a conceptual type question. All right, moving right along. Number 4, the sum, so right there we're going to be adding, of the measures of two complementary angles exceed the difference of their measure by 86. So if we carefully work through this, we have x plus 90 minus x, because we have the sum of the measures of two complementary angles, and then exceed the difference of their measures by 86. So when you add them together, you should get their difference plus 86. So now if we do some algebra, multiply out, move stuff around, we end up that 94 equals 2x. So x equals 47. And then because we want both angles, we need to find the complement. So 90 minus 47 is 43. So our answer are 47 and 43 degrees. Last one for this page. The measure of the area of a given square is 6 times the measure of its side. So drew a square. We know squares have equal sides, so I just made them x. And then you're able to say, well, the area, x squared, equals 6 times a given side. Well, all the sides are the same, so you just say x. And when you solve this one, you can divide everything by x. We technically lose a solution, but the solution of 0 is what we would lose. So we don't actually care about that one because a square with side 0 isn't really a square. So we just get x equals 6 as our length of our side. Okay. All right, going on to page 217. Oops, I forgot to black out the answer. That's okay. So the measure of the area of a given square is less than the measure of its perimeter. So once again, we're starting with the square. So I'm saying x and x. Now we're saying x squared, because it's once again saying the area is less than the measure of its perimeter. Well, perimeter is, adding up the outside. Well, if they're all the same, it's just 4x. So now I subtract this over and I factor. And this is just a GCF factoring, so they both have an x in common, so I can pull the x out. Now, because we're dealing with an inequality here, we want to do what's called a sign chart here. So you can see here I just set it up. The two factors on the left side, and then a number line on the bottom with the 2 zeros labeled. So when I look at this, 0 comes from the x, 4 comes from x minus 4. And now I'm looking for when, so first we just kind of think of this as a number line. So if I think about numbers less than 0, when I substitute them in for x, I'd get a negative number. Between 0 and 4, I would get a positive number, and then bigger than 4, I would still get a positive number, right? For the x minus 4, same idea. So when I'm putting a number, substituting in a number less than 0, so let's say negative 2, I would get a negative number. Same with numbers between 0 and 4. If I put in, let's say, 3 minus 4 is negative. So this section would be negative. And then if I substitute any number bigger than 4, I would get a positive number, right? 5 minus 4 is 1, so it's positive. Now, I care about when it's less than 0, and these are being multiplied. So when I multiply these two together, I'd get a positive. I don't want positive. Same with the right side. Positive plus a positive is positive. I don't want positives. I want negatives. So that middle section is where we have our answer. So our answer is 0 is less than x is less than 4. So that is our restriction. Okay. So any number between 0 and 4 would give us this statement to be true, that our area would be less than our perimeter. All right, number 7, an acute angle has a measure of 2a plus 2b. What is the difference between this measure of the supplement and a complement of the angle? So just to kind of draw this out, we have 2a plus 2b. This would be 90 minus 2a minus 2b because you would distribute out the negative. And then obviously we have a right angle left over from this from the complement. So we can just go right into saying 180 minus 2a plus 2b minus this guy right here, which I hadn't distributed out the negative. But when you do that, you end up, the difference would be 90. Okay. All right, number 8. The measures of two complementary angles differ by x. Express the measure of the larger angle in terms of x. So once again, here's a picture. So here we have a minus the complement equals x. We solve this, and we are doing it just in terms of x, so our answer will still have x in it. So add 90, divide everything by 2, and there you go. You could have also written it as x over 2 plus 45, but this is also fine. All right, number 9. Two angles are such that the ratio of the measures of their complements is 3:2, while the ratio of the measures of their supplement is 9:8. Find the supplement to the complement of the smaller of the two angles. So let's start with the beginning part. The ratio of their complements is 3:2. The ratio of their supplements is 9:8. So you can see here I have two different angles, x and y. Complement over complement equals 3/2. Supplement over supplement equals 9/8. I multiply by my denominators, and I'll kind of do them simultaneously because they are the exact same steps. And then I get them into standard form here. So now since I have an x and a y, I solve it as a system. So I ended up multiplying this one by 3 to get negative 6x plus 9y equals 270. And now I can just subtract the two equations. When I do that, the y's cancel, and we're left with 2x equals 90. So x is 45. Once I have that, substitute it back in, you get y equals 60. So we have the x angle and the y angle, but we have to make sure we answer the question, which is find the supplement to the complement of the smaller of the two angles. Well, the smaller of the two angles is the 45. Here's the complement. The supplement of the complement would be 135. Okay. Last one. The sum of the measures of a complement and a supplement of an angle is a 160. So right as soon as I see that, I'm just adding them together and setting them equal to 160. Find the measure of the angle. So simplify it, manipulate it. Oops, sorry about that. Actually hit the wrong button. Let's get back to where we were. So we manipulate it, and we eventually get that the measure of the angle is 55 degrees. So there it is. And like I said, hopefully you were pausing it in between each question, but obviously you can go back and rewatch any one you need to see again. If you do still have questions, make sure to ask in class tomorrow. Otherwise, have a good day, and thanks for watching.